Hello? This is her.
Hi Taylor, this is Colleen with the Disney College Program. How are you?
Good, I'm good.
Is this still a good time for your interview?
Yes, it is.
Okay, great. So we're going to spend the next 20 minutes or so together. I'll be asking you some questions to learn about you and your work experience. We'll talk about the roles you're interested in, and we'll leave some time for next steps and your questions at the end, okay?
Awesome.
All right. So tell me why you're interested in the Disney College Program.
Well, I've always loved Disney, and so there's a couple of reasons why I'm interested in doing the Disney College Program specifically is because like when I go to Disney, Disney just does everything the best. Like from customer service to the food, everything is immaculate and they just provide such an exceptional experience. And I think that's why they're so well respected and everybody just keeps coming back time and time again. And then from a more professional standpoint, I work in event coordination, so I do weddings and corporate events. And I've always wanted to do a job that's really centered around creativity. And Disney is one of the innovators when it comes to creativity. And also working in events, our whole goal is to provide the client or the guest with the most memorable experience. And we're supposed to create a magical experience for them because people on their wedding days want just the most magical day possible. And I think getting to go work at Disney and learn from people who are so big on making magic for their guests, I think I could definitely take that into the future. And it would be such a great thing.
Okay. So it looks like you are a senior economics major at Texas A&M University. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Okay. And are you currently an international student studying in the United States on a visa?
No, I am not.
Okay. Hopefully you had a chance to look at our website. There's a lot of information out there. One thing are the Disney look and appearance guidelines in regards to the costumes we wear. Are you familiar with those guidelines, or would you like me to review them with you?
No, I have gone over them.
Okay. And you're receptive to following them?
Yes, of course.
Okay. For costuming purposes, I do have some questions regarding body modification. Please note that failure to disclose any modification could result in the cancellation of an offer. This would include any modifications that you have now or may get prior to your arrival. So do you have any tattoos that will be visible outside of a tank top or sleeveless shirt and mid-thigh length shorts?
No, I have no tattoos.
Okay, so just to confirm, you don't have any wrist, hand, or forearm tattoos?
No, ma'am, I do not.
What about any piercings, ear gauges, or nose piercings?
No, I only have just the one piercing in my ears.
Okay. Some of the rules do require you to operate a vehicle. Do you have a valid U.S. driver's license?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Okay. It looks like you're interested in the program at Walt Disney World in Florida. You're looking at the fall, arriving as early as August 3rd, departing as late as January 28th. Does that time frame still work for you?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Part of the program is the living component. You could be living with several roommates. Have you ever lived with roommates before?
No, I have not. I have lived with, I've lived in a room with my sister whenever I was at home, but just with college, it just never worked out that I ever got the chance to live with roommates, but I really do want to have that experience.
Okay. So how do you think you're going to manage living with like up to seven roommates who you probably won't know, working full time and taking classes?
I don't really see it being an issue. I'm really easygoing, and it's really just something I've always wanted to do. So I think it'd be a great opportunity for me because I love meeting new people with different backgrounds, and that's something I've learned through college is that getting to see people and getting to know them and gaining new views on life is super important. So I think specifically getting to live with that many different people from all over the country or maybe the world would be so cool and just give me a totally new perspective that I haven't gotten the chance to have.
Okay. So let's talk about your work experience. I see a few things here on your application. Tell me about any work or volunteer experience that you have that you feel would help you on the college program.
Well, specifically, I've been working at the company Ashley and Company, which is an event coordination and linen and rental business. And so through that, I've gained a lot of experience working with clients and creating events and just getting to work with tons of people, which I wasn't super strong in before. I would say like my customer service wasn't the best, but now that I've been working there for almost 2 years, it's definitely grown a lot. And I think that's something that would be super helpful working at Disney, because it's so much about guest interaction and providing a memorable experience. And that's what we do at Ashley and Company. We create these weddings and these big events for these people, and they want perfection, and that's what we have to give them. And I think at Disney, we're held to that same standard of just providing an exceptional experience for the guests.
So I lived in Texas for a while.
Okay.
How many brides ask to take photos in the sun?
Well, honestly, we have never even had that request, which is crazy. Because there's just no bluebonnets around us being in college. Like, that's funny. Because, like, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm surprised no one has. Mm-hmm. Definitely, yeah. Like, definitely should recommend that to them, because that would be so cute.
So on here it says you were the social event coordinator for something I can't pronounce.
Okay, yes. So that's actually Aggie Speleological Society. It's a club that we go caving in. It's a caving club. We explore caves and do just really adventurous things. And so we'd have social events for like recruiting, things like that. We literally had a social event every single weekend. We usually did like themed parties, and we'd also get together with other caving groups to just like, network and things like that. So I put those on, and it was usually like themed stuff and just like managing budgets for the events. And yeah.
So think about your work experience and tell me about a time when you handled a situation with like an angry or irate customer.
I've never had anyone get super mad at me before, but I have been in situations where maybe guests are acting inappropriately. I did have one guest one time, and working in weddings, people tend to get very like over intoxicated. And I've had a male groomsman. I was lining the wedding party up to enter into the ceremony for the grand entrance, and the groomsman just started getting started saying very sexual comments towards me, and it made me feel super uncomfortable. But at that time, I just had to kind of like ignore him completely, because I'm about to send the bride down the aisle. Like, I cannot, give like any kind of time to that, because this is her day and she's been dreaming about it for her entire life, and so it has to go perfectly. And so at that time, I just had to kind of like ignore him, because I didn't want to give him a rise, which is what he was totally looking for. And so after I got her taken care of and got her down the aisle, that's when I went to my boss and explained to her the situation that was going on. And then we just kind of like made a plan that if the job had to be done where he was at, then she would kind of take over that like job, and then I would switch out with her, so that, because she just didn't want me in a super uncomfortable situation where I didn't feel like I was safe. And so definitely just working to be professional and staying calm, I think, is really important with guests, and not take it personally. Like, somebody may have just had a bad day if they're angry, and just not to take that too much to heart. It's not your fault.
So you kind of mentioned safety a little bit, with the situation that you were in, about you not feeling safe.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you make safety a priority for your job?
So safety is super important to me, for a number of reasons in my job and other things as well. In my job, we definitely have to be like super careful and be watching guests 24/7, because the biggest thing whenever I hear the word safety with my job is definitely watching people towards the end of the night, making sure nobody's going home too intoxicated, and making sure nobody wanders off, because like it's just crazy, but like some of these event places have like lakes and stuff, so we're always having to watch and make sure like no guest is like wandering off and like falls in the water, or just making like, there's always police, but we have to be a second set of eyes to watch and make sure nobody is driving intoxicated. And that's definitely like the biggest thing for us. And safety is also super important to me, because I've done a lot of things that are very dangerous, Like, I used to fly airplanes, and I was in the caving community, and so those things you just have to be so careful in, because you're taking your life into your hands when you do these things. Like, especially with flying airplanes, I used to have to like follow a lot of guidelines and do tons of checklists. And I think another thing is being focused for a super long extended period of time. Like flying airplanes, you have to go up in the sky and you can't get comfortable. Like, you have to be watching instruments for hours at a time and just be really, really hyper focused. And that's something I've learned throughout those experiences when it comes to safety.
Now, on the college program, I work in a lot of different environments. Inside, outside, in the heat, in the rain, you see it all day, these long blocks, 15-hour days. How do you feel about working in various environments and weather conditions?
That's totally fine for me. Being from Texas, I'm always outside. I think at a point in like a point of heat, like you just kind of forget that it's hot. You just kind of have to deal with it. And then also in Texas, it gets really cold. Like, people don't think about Texas being that cold, but it gets like icy cold here, which I'm always having to work outside. And also working the long hours is okay for me too, because I have days where I work Saturdays for 20 hours straight without stopping on my feet. So we get there at 8 in the morning, and then we are there till 3 in the morning. So definitely okay with me.
Okay. So tell me about like the busiest day that you ever had at work. You were standing for 20 hours.
Yes.
How did you get through it?
Okay, yeah, so actually it was the most, like, one of our really recent weddings. It was the New Year's Eve wedding that we just worked. And it was a 500 person wedding. There was like a one room where like the main wedding was going on, but then there was also a concert that they were putting on. So there was just tons of moving parts. So we were there all day setting up. And then it was a 12-hour, just the wedding itself was 12 hours. So it started at 2 and went till 2 in the morning. And so we had to be there till about 3:30 in the morning. And we got there at, I think, like 8. So it was incredibly long. But honestly, the days go by so fast for me. I don't know why. I guess because we're just so busy. But towards the end of the night, we do get slow. We do get a little bit grumpy at 2 in the morning. But we try to like put on music towards the end of the night once the guests have gone and we're cleaning up. And like, we just try to make the best. We just start making jokes. And that kind of keeps us going. We're just like trying to make fun of everything. And so, I'm totally used to it now. I do it every single weekend for 2 years now. So it definitely like starts to hurt your back because we're not in the most comfortable shoes. But it's so worth it. Like, so worth it. Like, I got to shoot off a confetti cannon that night. So, like, if I have to work 20 hours and I get to shoot off a confetti cannon, can I really complain? It's the best thing ever. The bride was so happy. Like, getting to see the smile on her face and the guest face as she's like pouring champagne down her like champagne tower. There's nothing like it. I'm so blessed to have this job. It's the coolest thing ever.
So who cleans up the confetti from the confetti?
Me, I did. I swept for at least an hour, and there was just like champagne all over the floor, so the confetti stuck to the floor. And I got to the point where I was like individually picking up confetti off the floor. And I was like, man, this I can't wait to get in bed. It was rough. But it was great too.
Well, I'm sure it added a layer of effect there that was really celebratory.
Yes, I didn't get to go do fireworks with my friends, but I did get to shoot a confetti cannon. It was definitely worth it. Yes, 100%.
You have the chance to mark off the roles that you're interested in on your application. We're going to consider you for everything you marked an interest in, even if we don't talk specifically about it today.
Okay.
But there are a couple of roles I wanted to touch on. You marked up high interest for quick service food and beverage. Tell me why you're interested in that role.
No, I can tell you a lot about this role. I absolutely love Disney food. I am a Disney food fanatic. I go to Disney with a spreadsheet of all the food I want to have. Like, it has like the food, where it's located, the price, what time of day I should eat it, depending on how heavy I think it's gonna be. Like, it's crazy. And I also really like working in a fast-paced environment. I'm really used to that. And I've worked in an ice cream shop before, so I have some experience working in food and desserts and things like that. And I also work really closely with catering whenever we're doing weddings. Like, I always am bussing tables and just like making plates for brides and their families. So I do have some experience in food. I know it's not the world's most glamorous job, but I'm just so passionate about food. Like, if I could just like hand someone one of the cinnamon rolls from Gaston's like every single day, I would be happy for the rest of my life. Like, not joking. Like, getting to like just getting to give someone food that I'm so passionate about would be like a dream job.
So what's the thing that you want to eat when you're here?
Absolutely Dole Whip. I mean, I'm not gonna pick favorites, but Dole Whip. You know, definitely I like the limited kind of edition things. I did like the drink that they have at Gaston's. I forgot what it was called. Little like slushy kind of like the apple drink. It's like apple juice almost. That one was really cool. The churro ice cream sandwich. Pretty much everything and anything. I'm definitely a sweets person. I like savory too, but definitely all the sweets.
Yeah, they have some really cool ones now that are sweet, like there's Rapunzel ice cream. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't. Oh my gosh.
Really cool.
I need to see. I'll be on Disney Food blog later trying to find this.
Okay, so quick service food and beverage, like working a cash register, pouring drinks, busting tables, you're receptive to all those things?
Yes, and I have experience doing all those things as well.
Okay. Now you did also mark PhotoPass photographer.
Yes.
So tell me about your experience with cameras and taking pictures.
I definitely think out of all the ones I picked, this is probably the one I have the least experience in, but I'm totally open to learn. I think it's so important to be able to work a camera now in these days. Like, it's such a good skill to have. So I think just getting to learn would be a big plus for me. And I also do have a lot of experience just like moving people around a lot and getting people ready for photos because I do that in my job now. And so that's definitely where I think I could shine in that aspect. But yeah, so that's mostly my experience is just like dealing with people and moving them around.
Okay. Now you also marked out some interest in the character attendant.
Yes.
For the folks that go out with the characters, help them get to and from different locations. They do a lot of guest service, a little bit of security. So tell me why you're interested in that role.
I would definitely be interested in that role because I think it's so rewarding to get to see like little children meet their like biggest celebrity. I think that's really cool. Getting to interact with the guests a lot, getting to like just watch their faces. That's so important to me. And I also think a big thing with that is keeping character integrity and just making sure that those kids really do get to feel like they are meeting that character. Like, it is someone that they dream of meeting. And I think that's so important for us to make sure that we're keeping with that and taking care of the characters so that they are able to like and answer any questions that the guests may have in reference to the character, since some of the characters can't answer things themselves. I think it's really important for us to be able to like handle little kids and know how to answer their questions.
Okay. And some of the roles have a cash handling element, like quick service food and beverage, merchandise, even the photopass photographer. I think you said you had experience working with the cash register.
Yes, I do. I worked cash register in my job working at the ice cream shop, and then I also not necessarily cash register, but I do run credit cards and things at my job now whenever people have orders. And then I also do have experience just handling large amounts of cash from that clients just give me to like pass on to other people and give to my bosses and things like that.
So like I mentioned earlier, we're going to consider you for everything you marked an interest in, even if we didn't talk about it today.
Okay.
For the most part, you marked roles medium or high. There are a couple of you put low interest for.
Mm-hmm.
You will also be considered for those. So I do like to make sure that you're still okay with everything you put on your list. There's nothing you want to take off of there.
No, I'm fine with everything that I put. Even the low interest, I would still really enjoy.
Okay. Now, based on the descriptions and the role checklist that you filled out online, and the roles that we talked about today, are you
Yes, I am.
Okay, great. Well, Taylor, that's all the questions that I have for you today. Let me just share what is going to happen from here. So we are going to be sending all of our communication to your dashboard on the Disney Career Portal.
Okay.
Do you know where that is?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So on that dashboard, in the upper right-hand corner, there's a bell. If you click on it, it'll take you to any updates or notifications that you have from us. We are going to be making our decisions between now and April. So you want to just hang in there, keep checking that dashboard.
Okay.
But be aware that there may be no changes to your dashboard until a final decision has been made. If you are accepted, all the information that you need will show up there. So how to accept or decline an offer, when to arrive, the role you could have, education information, as well as fees. So if you are offered a role, you would have 7 days to pay your fees in full. Otherwise, your principal will throw your invitation to participate.
Okay.
Okay, so we're coming to the end of our time together, but I did want to allow a minute or two for any questions that you might have for me about the program.
Okay, yeah. So I had a question about how much leeway like the CPs get with making magic for the guests. Like how does that work? Like are we given free reign to make magic for the guests?
Well, I mean, I guess it depends on the situation,
Uh-huh.
what it calls for.
Okay.
We do have tools for like guest recovery situations.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that's something they would kind of teach the cast members when they go to their new work locations, like what
Mhm.
kind of things they can do to help out a guest.
Okay. Yeah, that's just something I like definitely want to be able to do. So just was curious about that.
Any other questions?
No, that's all I have.
Okay. Well, if you think of anything else, feel free to contact us. The best way you can do that is to go onto that website. There is a link that you can email questions to our support team.
Okay, awesome.
All right. Well, you are all set.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Colleen. It was really a pleasure, and thank you for the consideration.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
All right, you too. Goodbye. Oh my god, I just had my interview.